Hey, what's up, guys? So, today is Thursday. Welcome to our live stream. And today we are going to talk about there's the three common mistakes that people usually will make. As I taught many students, they will have this common mistakes. This common mistake, what will happen is that will cause you to lose your either balance or affect your speed on the courts. So today, we're going to talk about what three common mistakes in the footwork that you can avoid, so you can avoid that footwork and then speed up your movement on the courts. All right, you guys get ready? All right, so the first common mistakes is at the front. The people, especially at the last step. So what is that? For the common mistake at a front course, people sometimes the last step they will land with their toes like this. Okay, let me give an example. They run pretty fast at the back courts, and then they move forward. They will land with their toes like this way, or they will land like this. Some young athlete, they will do like this. Okay, so yesterday one of the students, she had the same problem with this. They landed, but they stand up too early, and then they switch their feet like this way. So when they move back, they go like this. In this way, that means your waist stand up too early. If you move more faster, then you lose the balance very easily. So how are you gonna solve this? The solution to solve this is when you do the launch, no matter you do the net shot or lift or neck heel, whatever, right? Your launch step, when you land it, the weight don't stand up too quickly. You gotta go it down like this, or you gotta be like this way. All right. Instead, you do like this way. Okay. If you stand up too quickly, your right foot will be like this. Racket foot will be like this. See my this side? It will go like this. So your launch will become like that. And if you move fast enough, then you'll lose that balance on the court very easily. However, if you can do like this, you launch, you hit it, you sit a little bit. So you kind of like this way. Launch. You gotta be like this way, not like that. All right, or you do like this. Make sure move with the toes because you want to move faster on the courts, right? You want to move faster on the courts. You gotta move with the toes, but you gotta land with the heel. Land with the heel at last moment. All right, land with the heel. That's the first common mistake I saw many players they will make, especially when they were just started. And then because when they rush on the courts, they really focus on the birdies. So when they're gonna start to hit the birdies, they forget about their feet, and then they will cause them to lose their balance on the courts. That's the reason. So for those of you who have this same problem, or when you do the net shot, neck heel, lift, after you hit the shots, then you'll lose the balance. Then you gotta look at your launch to see whether it's you stand up too quickly or you land with your toes like this. All right. Some people they land like this, they twist like this way. It's because they want to move back quickly. They want to kind of like this. All right. So make sure you gotta do the launch properly, and then you sit, and then you go back. Instead of you haven't hit the shot yet, you already think about you're gonna move back. All right. step by step. You gotta land properly. When you land it properly, the shot that you hit it will be more consistently. The quality will be much better, right? When the quality is much better, then when you move back, you don't need to do too rush. Does it make sense? How many of you, let me know, how many of you guys you lose your balance on the course when you do the neck shot, neck kill, or lift? Leave me in a group chat for Instagram and YouTube. Leave me in a group chat. Let me know how many of you guys have this problem. Like you hit it, you lose your balance, or you feel when you get back, would move too slow. How many of you guys have this problems? Or have you been like a sprain your ankle? Yeah, I see a lot of like me over there. That's good. Okay. Yeah, so you guys need to look at this footwork, your lunge. Okay, you gotta look at this lunge. And how you can practice that, even though sometimes you don't need to like practice with the drills, you can just do physically the training exercise. At home you do like this, and you practice this, and then go back. Or even you can do that backward, right? And then you go back. This is all help you to improve your lunge. When your lunge get improved, then when you do the fine core skills, you will less lose your balance. Okay. So that's a first common mistakes. The second common mistakes is when people do the drive shot, or when they do the defense. I would say like block shot, something like that. Okay, but it's on the sideway, which is, let's say on my right side, at the middle cards here. Okay, so when I move to here, suppose your right foot need to face it toward to the shuttle, right? But the common mistake people will make is do the same thing. They will land with the toes, so they cause them when they landed, their feet do like this. Let me show you. They kind of like this. They do like this way. Okay? So, what would happen if you do this? What would happen if you do this? If you do this, let's say imagine the drive shot is really fast, right? So you do like this. If you move too fast, they'll easily to sprain your ankle like this way. So make sure the last, when you move, you can do like this way. But the last step, you gotta turn your hip a little bit and step like this way. That's how you're gonna step. That's how you're gonna step. Okay, again. So you gotta step, turn, hit, like this. Right? When you defense, if you are singles players, you want to do like this to defense, right? You will do like turn like this way to defense. So you can see the last step, your toes and your knee always facing the shuttle. If your shuttles are here, I set toward to here, you hit, right? Here. I won't be like the shuttles are here and I go like this. That's a common mistake that will affect your shot's quality, and you will lose your balance when you do the drive shot or when you do the defense shots in the singles games or in doubles game when you do the drive shots. All right, let's see. There's some questions over there. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. So the last common mistakes that people will make is like this. In the passive shots, which I mean is that if the shot is passive already, if the shot is passive, then people when they land it, they will do the active footwork. What does that mean? What is the active footwork? For the active footwork, it's like this. When I do the cross, because the shot is past them already, right? Imagine like this. The shuttle is here. It's behind me, right? When they move it, they do with the active footwork, which is kind of like this. They go like this. See my feet? I want you to focus on my feet. Okay, see my feet like this? They will do like that. But the shuttle is already behind them. How are you gonna make your shot when you hit the shuttles behind you and make the better quality? How are you gonna do that? You gotta do two things. And here's what I wanna give to you. You gotta make a space and you gotta keep a balance. And how are you gonna make a space and keep a balance? It's about your feet and about your rotate with your hip. So how are you gonna do that? It's like this. Imagine this. The shuttle is behind you already, which means your position is already in defense position. But in defense position, you still can make your shot more consistently and find an opportunity to turn your defense position to the offense position. So how are you gonna do that? You don't rush, you move faster, but your feet, when you land it, you're gonna land like this. Let me show you. So you do like cross, and then when you land it, your right foot gotta turn, and then like this. Then like this. Okay, one more time. So go like this. If a shuttle passes, break it up, turn, and you land like this. Instead, you go like this way. Right? That will cause you to lose your balance if you hit it. Right? But if you do this, which means you still do lunge. Although you hit the shots behind you or beside you, even below like this, but your feet stand like this way. You can keep your balance and move back and get ready for the next shot. Get ready for the next shot. So that's the three common mistakes that people will make usually that I see a lot of people. So that's summarized for this. The first is at a fine course. When you do the fine course, people sometimes make sure don't do like this, okay, or stand up too quickly. The second, on the sideway, make sure don't land with the toes like this. Your toes and your knees, you gotta face the shuttle. You gotta face the shuttles, okay? You guys gotta be like this. The third one is when the shuttle is passing, which is you are in the defense position. Then you gotta do like this. Okay, you gotta rotate your hip. The reason you're doing this is because if you're doing this, the shuttle behind you, right? There's no space for you to swing. But what if I just switch a little bit, I turn it a little bit? I can make my motion be more flexible. I can generate power. I can slow down my motion to do the drop shot. I can do clear with my wrist snap power. But if you go like this, there's no power for that because you don't have the space to swing. All right, so that's the three common mistakes. Right now, I want to ask you questions. How many of you guys have made these three common mistakes in your games, in your practice, or if you have get injured by these three common mistakes? Leave in a good chat and let me know. That's the reason I say footwork is always, you guys, the first things you need to remember, the reason is because without the footwork, your shot couldn't be able to consistently, your shots, the quality couldn't be better because you can't get the right position, and it's because you don't have the footwork skills. So footwork, which is really important, that the first things you need to really focus on your footwork. Okay, so that's the reason I keep actually, you guys, if you those of you guys haven't taken the footwork smoothly program yet, if you guys haven't taken that program yet, make sure go to our badmintonandbeyonds.com slash horse. So there's a Badminton Footwork Smoothie programs include all the passive, active, smash, those kind of like footwork, even the basic 6 corners footwork, and include the workbook that I give to you. So you guys can go to, I'll leave in the YouTube description. If you guys want to have a link over there, you can go get there. Right now, it's only 17 bucks. Original price is 39. Right now, it's only 17 bucks for you guys. All right, because I want you guys improve your footwork. So I can teach you guys more from like hand skills, those kind of stuff. All right. Okay, let's back to questions. All right. So for those of you, if you have any footwork problems, questions, you can ask me, okay? Okay, so here's a dash one. Here's a questions. How to focus on the footwork and the shuttle at the same time? That's a good question. How you can focus on your footwork and hit the shuttle at the same time? The only one thing is your muscle memory. It's a muscle memory. How you gonna build up your muscle? So how you gonna do that? That's the things. Here's a priority I want to give to you. The first, that's a good question though. The first thing is you need to focus on what? You need to focus on the footwork, and also like you spend time half time on the footwork, half time on the shuttle. You don't do it at the same time. So you separate them to practice, and you keep going, build out a muscle all the time. And then you move on to the third practice, which is you can combine with the footwork with the drills together. And after that, you build out the muscle, you will start to build out the muscle memory. Then you'll find out when you move to hit the shuttle in your games, you don't need to think about, am I do right for the footwork? Or you don't need to think about how you're gonna move, how you're gonna step. You don't need to think about that because the muscle memory is already there. It's already there. So the first things, practice footwork, and then practice drills separating, and then move on to the third things, which is combine them together. All right, that's a good question. Okay. Hey, Elvis. All right, Alexander. So in doubles, defending against drop shots, I often late. How can I? Oh, okay. That's another good question. So many people. Here's the thing. Many people when they do the defense in doubles, right? Doubles is a half court, right? Yeah, half courts. And then sometimes the opponent do the drop shot, and they always reach the shots too late. Why it happen? Why it happen like that? That's two things. One is your footwork when you get back after you do the lift or you do the clear. Like no matter what shot you hit it, because your opponent might do smash or drop shot, right? So that means the shot that you return or your partner's return is a high shot. So that's the first common mistake. Is like people will, when they move back, their feet will stuck there. There's no rhythm, there's no ready position like that. That's one thing. So that's the first reason will cause you when your opponent to change your pace by adjust their motion, which is do the drop shots, and then your feet will stuck. The second is a little bit need to require some skills, which is the observation. What is that? Observation, you gotta observe your opponent's You gotta observe your opponent's motion. So how you gonna observe that? When you gotta catch the timing. If your opponent hit it, then your feet need to do split step. You need to do initial step. So if you don't do that, when you see the shuttles, you get over the net and you start to move. They were too late. So that's two reasons I want to give to you. In the footwork programs, I'll teach you how to do the split step combined with the front court two corners. Okay. All right. Good question, Alexander. All right. So next, let's see. All right. So, sorry, I want one. How can I reach backhand corner quickly? Okay, so here's the question: like, how can you reach the backhand corners quickly? On my right, because I'm a righty, so my left corner at the back is my backhand side. How you gonna reach there quickly? There's a 2 footboard, right? One is your backhand footboard, the other one is overhead footboard. And I would recommend you guys for right now, I would recommend you guys to work on more your overhead footwork instead of backhand footwork. You need to know both, but I want you step by step to learn the overhead footwork first. So I'm gonna talk about the overhead footwork, how you're gonna speed up. Okay, how you gonna speed up? So you're gonna be like this. You step, right? Start with your small step with your left foot, and then your right foot gotta generate power to turn it. So that's the only 2 key point you will speed up the overhead this size footwork. So you kind of, yes, if you turn this way too slow, then you move to that corner, will be too late. All right, but the most important thing is you need to observe your opponent's motion and capture the timing to do the initial step. All right, good question. I like that. All right. So leave in a good chat. How many of you guys interested in the footwork smoothie programs? By the way, oh, I see. Here's the questions. I like this. Okay. Should you step? Oh, okay. Here's the questions. Okay. I wanna share with you. There's one thing. For the footwork, I did make some mistakes before. Okay, when I was young, I started too early to learn the shuffle step. Like I start too early because I don't have a profound fundamental of a step footwork yet. So that caused me struggling with the big angle movement. So here's the thing I want to give to you. When you start, that's why some of you guys, if you join the footwork smoothie programs, that I teach you how to learn that, and then for step footwork and shuffle footwork, what's the difference? And then you gotta learn both. That's the reason I put both of them together, because you need to learn both. But you learn step footwork first, and you will learn the shuffle footwork later. But you gotta know both, and then you're gonna use both in your games in different scenario. Why do I do that? Why I say that's a mistake I make? Because when I start with the shuffle, it costs you, like, it makes you faster. That's right. But the weight shifting, here's the thing. The weight shifting, I didn't do very well at the timing. So most of your lunge, the weight shifting out of balance, you still have a lot of problem for that. I don't recommend you do the shuffle because you make the same mistakes as I made. Yeah, that will cause you the big angle. It's hard to reach it. I give you an example. How many of you guys, if you hit the net shot and your opponent hit the cross net, is struggling with get the big angle movement? Or how many of you guys, if you hit from the back court at the forehand side and your opponent do the front court at the backhand side, this diagonal for you will be hard to connect it. How many of you guys have that problems? Let me see. How many of you guys? That's good. Okay, how many of you guys have that same problem? Okay, so that's a reason I say you gotta do the step first, and then you keep working on the steps. And then you move on to the shuffle. What is the step? Let me show you one step. Let me show you one footwork. Okay, let's say if I do to the front court corner, right? There's a two different footwork. You can either do like step, right? Or you can do shuffle, right? So these two different footwork you will apply it in your games in different scenario. But when you start to build up your fundamental of your footwork, I would recommend you start with the step, then move on to the shuffle, and then start to learn the third step, which is you gotta learn how to combine them together and in different scenario, which you will learn by practice with your drills. Because with your drills, then the pace is different. So once the pace is different, your footwork step will be a little bit different. So I like that question. That's a good question though. All right. So next question. Oh, okay. SK is how to move from net shot to clear. So you mean like it's diagonal like this or straight? Okay, let me know it's a straight or a cross, and then I can show you. Okay. All right. So Joyson say after returning the shots, serve. Okay. What should be my position to receive the next shot? Okay. Joyson, I will assume you talk. Is it doubles? Joyson, if it's in doubles or singles? Based on your question. So Joyson's question is like after he received the serve return and do the push, how to do the ready position, how to get ready for the next shots. Okay, Joyson, that's good. Okay, Joyson is saying in doubles. All right, so doubles, that's good. So here's the thing I want to show you. Okay, I'm gonna turn a little bit like this way. Okay. So you'll be like this. Let's see like this. I do the receive, right? I do push. And I do straight push. When I do the receive serve, I do push. The next thing you need to focus on is a straight shot, because straight shot is faster than the cross shots, right? So how are you gonna do that? There's one thing you gotta avoid is after you hit the shot, you move back to the center. Don't move back to your center. Where you hit it, you gotta cover where. Does it make sense? If you hit to the cross, you can follow to the cross. So in this case, in Joyson's case, after he hit it, right? He hit it. The shot goes straight and down to the corner. So how you gonna do that? You gotta move one shuffle back to the sideway. So you kind of like this, and get ready like this. You might have a question. So what about the cross? Should I cover that? No, you don't need to cover that. In doubles rotation videos or in doubles rotation course, I would mention the back person gotta help your partner to cover the cross shots, so you guys can collab together. So once you hit there, you gotta be like this, because the front person, you guys need to focus on the fastest shot, which is the straight. And Joyson, this shot is because you hit it. You hit a straight, you gotta focus on the straight to cover it. Right? You gotta focus on the straight, you cover it. You hit there, and when can you start to like cut off at the cross shots? When can you do that? Unless every time you push to the straight, your opponent, you find out your opponent keep hitting the middle or keep hitting to the cross. Maybe sometimes you can surprise them. After you hit there, you just go there to do a neck heel. But if not, I would say, let's say you don't know your opponents yet, the game's just start, you hit it, that's a proper position, you gotta do it. Get ready. Okay, you hit it, and you move to the sideway, and a straight, break it up. Get ready for your opponent, prepare your opponent, drive the shot back. Okay, and before you're doing this, there's one thing I want to mention is you need to make sure the shot that you pushed it is not goes up. It's either flat or go down. So this shot will be more easier. All right. Okay, that's a good questions. All right, that's back to one more questions. All right, let's take one more questions. All right. All right, Ashad, how to time or manage footwork, foot movement without getting caught for deception? Oh, in singles. Okay, so some of you guys have like struggling with for like if you trick by your opponents, like the foot or how you're gonna do that. So there's a one way that you can practice in your footwork practice is you can imagine, do your imagination. I would say sometimes when we do the footwork, we will imagine we trip by our opponent, right? We trip by our opponent. Sometimes you go like this, right? You kind of like move back. And then so why you do this? The reason you're doing this is because your footwork and your feet start to practice the weight shifting suddenly. The weight shifting gotta shift suddenly. It's because the reason is because your opponent do this deception shot, and sometimes your opponent change your timing to hit. Then your feet gotta change your pace as well. So that's how the first thing how you can practice. The second thing I recommend is for those of you who are deceived by your opponents, you need to know two things. One is the shots of your quality. The second thing is this. The second thing is when you can wait until your opponent's hit. Don't move too early. But this is the more tricky part. That's the reason in the Badminton Accelerator program, I had mentioned when you do the net shot front court, either neck heel or you do the net shots. The first motion, you need to reach your arm up. The reason you're doing this is because you can stop your opponent's footwork, because your opponent needs to wait until you hit it, then move. Right? So right now, in the opposite way, you gotta wait until your opponent's move if your opponent do this. But if you move too early, then your opponent just changes the last timing, then you'll be retracted. Does that make sense? So here's the thing. I want you to start to practice this footwork. Imagine it tricked by your opponent. You can do that. Definitely you can do that. All right. All right. Today's those good questions for those of you who haven't taken any the Badminton Accelerator and the Badminton Footwork Smoothie program yet. I would definitely recommend you guys get to go to badmintonandbeyond.com. Our course is over there. There's this 5 to 6 course that you can take. Check it out. All right, and those of you who already take a footwork smoothie program, you can DM me through the Instagram. I will help you if you have any questions. All right, I will see you guys in the next Tuesdays at the same time. Thank you guys for joining today's sessions.